Looking for a furry experience? No problem. You came to the right place. Let me hook you up. 1 second there. Yeah! Hey, what's going on, everybody? Tujo Panda back in action. We're going to be playing some Echo tonight. Well, did I say play? I should say narrate, or voice act for. But yeah, it's been a while, and I do apologize for that. I have to say, thank you very much for paying all this attention, and why isn't the game playing? There we go. There we go. Alright. One second. Yeah, Echo, it's been a little bit of a time. So, last time we left off, this guy, the otter guy, who you happen to be, came back to his wonderful little community to hang out with all of his friends. And he's got an ultra-Christian dude, he's got a, what we call a stoner dude, his former love interest, which is this big buff Akita guy. He got this very stern professional guy who happens to be a lizard. And we got this fennec fox girl who is kind of curious that he's actually bi. But it's okay. Click continue. Yeya River feeds Emma Lake from the north. It's a farther drive than the lake itself, but it does have a few nice clearings along its edge. One of them has a few benches and a rusted to hell public grill that I'm sure no one has used in decades. This is the place that we go. As for unloading Leo's van, I decided to get the B-roll of the lake right away. It won't have much of a presence in the packet, so I think I'm just going to narrate over it later. The actual lake is only a few minutes walk from here. It's a bit difficult navigating around the sagebrush, and I know I'm going to have to check for ticks later. By the time I reach the lake, my friends are pretty far behind me, hidden behind a few bends and hills. I'm getting uncomfortable with the idea of me holding this camera while I navigate this terrain. It probably would have been better if Leo had just parked the car next to the reservoir while I got out to film, but I guess even that still wasn't okay. There's a large square of paved ground next to the parking lot, now several benches and a row of brand new grills. Several lamps have been erected around the area too. Leo was right about the town trying to turn the reservoir into a recreational spot. I can actually see a few jet boats skimming through the water, leaving long trails of white behind them. There's even what looks like a feline of some sort fishing in the shallows. It would explain why the motel is still in business. Lake Emma is fairly small, only about 12 miles long and 5 wide. I look around before climbing to the top of a nearby hill and get my shots. Even with a few people there, it's still pretty quiet, aside from the train horns, and it's kind of eerie. I wrap up and start to quickly make my way back. It's hard to explain why I'm getting freaked out in broad daylight with people around. Either it's because of what happened all those years ago, or I'm just psyching myself out. I'm glad to hear my friends' voices again as I get closer. Then again, it seems like we're still fighting. Been acting like a dick all day. Be glad I came here at all.
Apparently, it would have been better if you hadn't.
Maybe I should just fucking leave then, huh? Sounds a lot more serious than our usual squabbles, so I quicken my pace. They seem to quiet down once they see me coming. TJ's off to the side, looking out over the river, occasionally throwing a rock into it. Carl sits in a lawn chair, one of the 6 that had been set out in the semicircle. He has his chin on his fists as he lazily stares at me. Jenna and Leo both stand next to each other, looking at Flynn, who's got his back turned, rummaging through the cooler. Hey, what's wrong? Nothing. You get your film? Yeah, I got it. Silence is still awkward. I have no idea what the hell to do with myself. I finally realized that I'm still holding a camera and decided to put that away. Hey, I'm gonna go for a quick swim. I haven't been in the water for a while. When I first got here, I was completely disappointed to find that the motel didn't have its own swimming pool. Being an otter, I like to swim at least once a day, if not more. At this point, it had been 3. Flynn finally turns around, a beer in his hand as he cracks it open. It was true that he'd been acting a bit strange today. He'd held the entire trip up by a few hours, and when he'd finally shown up his eyes were bleary, and he seemed sluggish, like he'd been up all night. When we'd asked if he was alright, he brushed us off. Yeah, thanks for the help setting up, Chase. You're about as useful as this fat ass here. He swings the paw, holding the beer at Carl. Flynn. So enjoy that swim while I set everything out. Yeah, I will. Make my soda a diet while you're at it. I've had it with Flynn. He's souring the trip with his need to be an asshole. Yo, fuck yourself. I ignore him as I strip off my shirt and head to the riverbank. I pat TJ on the shoulder as I pass him before slipping into the water. We're currently in the middle of a drought that has lasted for the last 3 years, so the water is low, only about 10 feet at its deepest. It's enough though. God, it feels good. It's spring, so the water is pretty cold. I swim back and forth a few times before finally diving in. Eventually, I settle on drifting to the bottom, laying and gripping on the rock floor as I stare up at the shimmering light above me. I feel the gentle current run over my body. It's nice to be away from all that tension above me. I feel isolated, alone, and for now that feels good. None of the others could come down this deep, only I was able to. I remember when we were younger, I would give the others rides around the lake, able to swim to its entire length and back. Even Flynn the asshole had done it a few times. It was one skill I had that I was proud of, even if it was inherent to my species. It still made me somewhat useful, or at least different from everyone else, but in a good way. I had always felt like the odd one out in the group, as strange as it sounds. Where everyone else has a strong, distinct personality, I was just average. Sometimes I wonder if they were friends with me because we all had to be when we were younger. This whole trip has kind of forced me to think back on all the memories I have of this place and my friends. They were always doing the cool things, being different, while I was just sort of blended into the background. Even then, I wanted to do something to stand out somehow. That's what I'm trying to do here, I guess. It's been about 7 minutes, and I only know that because that's about as long as I can hold my breath. I decided I should go back up, help out, so I slowly let myself float back up to the surface, trying to stay in the same spot. When I surface, it's pretty quiet. For a second, I wonder if everyone is just gone. Of course, that's ridiculous, and as I come over to the embankment, everyone's there. Predictably, Flynn didn't get my food out, so I go to the cooler to grab a sandwich and a soda before sitting in an empty chair next to Leo. Apparently, it was a good idea to bring lawn chairs, considering the tables looked like they were covered in a year's worth of bird shit. How was the swim? His tone is bitter and salty. He's not in the usual grumpy mood, but good-natured mood. He's genuinely happy. What the hell was his deal? Amazing! I'm gonna have to come back here again sometime during the week. You lizard people don't understand. You hardly even need water. It always scares the hell out of me when you're down there that long. I'm built for it.
Remember when you give us rides? That was fun.
Remember when you'd always scream like a little girl when Chase would go out too far?
Oh wow, I remember that now.
Hey, I never really liked the water. Anyway, Chase would do it on purpose. He knew I didn't like it at a certain point.
Carl looks at me.
You know what was really cool? It was when you take us down for a dive.
Oh yeah, Chase was like her own little submarine.
I'm starting to get that otters are swimming clowns vibe again. Still, I kind of enjoy the attention.
We get you to take us to the bottom so we can look for treasure.
Leo makes air quotes around the last word. And you know, we probably would have found way more stuff if you guys hadn't been dragging me down. I remember when.
Are we really fucking talking about this?
Everyone turns to look at Flynn. His voice is low and dangerous. There's a chill in the air because we all kind of know what that means. I was actually feeling pretty good about it at this point, like we crossed the bridge, being able to talk about it for once. Apparently we hadn't.
Lynn, no, I'm serious. Do you think it's okay to fucking talk about this when the lake is just a quarter mile that way?
You know what, Flynn? I think we should. Isn't that part of the reason why we're here?
No. If that were the case, we'd be over there. But we're here. And why is that?
Everyone's quiet for a moment. I see TJ shrink into his chair, staring hard at his lap.
Lynn, we came here because Chase needed footage.
A change comes over Flynn. His face darkens and everyone senses it. Flynn turns to me and it takes some effort not to flinch back.
Yeah, and why is that, Chase? You gonna put that in your fucking documentary?
No. Emma Lake is an important part of Echo's history. Just
what?
Flynn raises his brow, ridge at me. Finally, I just lower my eyes.
This was a stupid fucking idea.
You know what, Flynn? If you'd be a little more open, tell us what's on your mind, you'd be able to avoid a lot of this kind of stuff.
Oh, you wanna know what's on my mind?
Flynn swivels and marches up to Carl.
Alright, let's start with you. You're fat, lazy, no motivation, and no future. What the hell are you planning on doing with your life? Sit here, waste away in Echo, mooching off your parents until you're dead?
Carl stares back up at Flynn impassively, though he hunches into himself a little bit further.
Flynn, don't do this right now.
And you, thinking you're better than everyone else. I can tell, you think everyone in Echo is trash. Just because me and the others haven't left you, think we're lower than you. Just because we don't have an education, we're a bunch of retards. Yeah, well you left your whole fucking family behind without saying goodbye. You know what's even going on with them right now? What they're dealing with? Yeah, real fucking hero you are.
You think
Stop it, Flynn. Ah, unquestionable leader. We wouldn't have been friends without you, would we? That's why you brought us here, right? So we could all bond? Or, wait, was it because you wanted to get into Chase's pants?
His ears fall flat.
Probably. You've been a mess ever since you left. So let me be the one to tell you. It's over. It's fucking unhealthy. You're obsessed with them.
Slowly, his head turns to me, and I brace myself.
And I can't imagine why you, Chase, have the personality of a fucking rock. I wish you could see yourself. You just sit there like a creep, watching everyone, weighing everything that we say. And don't think I haven't caught the way you stare at all of us like we're objects to be collected. What? Are you just gonna plan to cycle it all at us for sex? Sure seems like it.
Flynn stops, then exhales. Seems like it's over. I really hope it is. That proves futile, though. Flynn slowly turns on TJ. I had silently prayed that the Lynx would make a run for it, while Flynn had all of his attention focused on us. But TJ looks apathetic. Like a statue. Like there's no soul in him. Flynn pauses, though, as he's at his loss for what to say. Finally.
What happened, TJ?
Flynn. Leo stands up. From his posture, I can tell the wolf is ready to fight. Memories are starting to flow back. TJ, Flynn, thinking he had been done something too. I stand up too. Flynn may sound like a hard ass, but physically Leo had beat me. Easy. Flynn can obviously tell that he might have a fight on his hands though, and it's clear he doesn't want that. He drops his shoulders, seeming to shrink as if invisible strings that had been holding him up were cut. He turns to us, then gestures at TJ.
I just want the truth. Can we just put a stop to this today, right now? I don't think you know how much of a nightmare this has been for me, not really knowing. TJ.
TJ stares at Flynn, muzzle set grimly.
What happened to Sydney?
It's dead quiet. TJ stares at his lap, not moving. Come on, let's... Flynn holds up a hand towards me, still staring at TJ. Slowly, TJ looks up, his face still stoic, still made of stone.
I already told you what happened.
bullshit!
Flynn steps forward, but Leo's here to grab the back of Flynn's shirt and swing him around. I dodge out of the way as Flynn is flung back to land on his ass, kicking up a big cloud of dust.
Shit! Flynn, I swear to God, if you start a fight here, I'll drop your stupid ass.
Everyone except TJ is standing now, staring at Flynn. Flynn sits there, glaring up at Leo, obviously weighing his chances. He seems to come up short, though, as he spits to the side and stands up, brushing off his pants as he turns away.
You're all okay with not knowing? Fuck all of you.
He turns her back around, hands in his pockets, bitter look on his face.
This whole thing was stupid, Leo. We're not even friends anymore.
Flynn scuffs the ground before turning and walking towards the trail that leads back to Echo.
God damn it, Flynn. Fuck off.
Flynn keeps walking. It's pretty clear that he isn't coming back. I raise the ball and rub it over my eyes. What's he doing? He's a passionate guy that will sometimes just explode with all his insecurities before running away and hiding for a few days. He's skewered us all before. That was classic Flynn. But he was especially mean. Dark. And that part with TJ? I vaguely remember Flynn having some sort of suspicion, but that had been a long time ago. Had he been sitting on that this whole time? I look to the left and see that TJ's gone. Carl's still sitting down, but now it looks like he's pulling out a joint. Leo's walking off down another trail, cursing while Leo Jenna follows him. I stand there, next to my chair, undecided. Man, this is a tough decision to make. See, here's the thing. I like Carl the most out of most of these other people, but I don't know. Like, story-wise, I think it would make more sense to go after Gio and Leo. Jenna and Leo. You know what? Nah. I better do the right thing and go after Flynn. I look back at Flynn as he winds his way down the trail towards the road. I sigh angrily, starting towards him.
Jace, I wouldn't.
Someone's gotta talk sense in that idiot. He thinks he can just get away with this shit?
You know how he is.
I keep walking. He's moving pretty slow, so it's easy to catch up with him. He's got his hands jammed down into his pockets as he walks along, his head down. Hey, Flynn! He jerks his head up, then looks back around at me. He's chewing on a toothpick, which he promptly pulls out of his muzzle.
The hell? What the fuck do you think you're doing, Chase? Go back.
Yeah, right. You think you can just walk away from me after saying shit like that? He stops walking and turns around fully to face me. I step up right in front of him, just a few feet away. He looks me over. For some reason, I can see a smile threatening to crack his face as he tries to keep it hidden.
Yeah? What are you gonna do about it?
I shrug. Talk? We were having a good time. Why do you have to turn everything good? He suddenly steps up close, thrusting his chest out into me. It hits me around the neck and I stumble back.
Not in the mood.
He sticks the toothpick back in his muzzle before he starts walking away again.
Go back to the river so you can all talk about what an asshole I am.
What? Watch him go for a few of it. I'm not too worried about Flynn actually beating me up. I annoyed him pretty bad before, but he hadn't actually ever hurt me, at least not maliciously. On top of that, he'd have to answer to Leo if he ever did anything like that, and he knows how that would end up. Still, he did look pretty angry when he stepped towards TJ, more than I'd ever seen him, probably. Now might not be the best time to do this. Screw him. Once again, he thinks the act of an asshole can just brush off whoever he doesn't want to talk to. Well, I'm going to show him exactly why that doesn't work when it's the stubborn otter he's up against. I start following again, doing a little jog to catch up. This time Flynn hears me and whirls back, pulling his toothpick out of his mouth again.
Your ears filled with water? I said fuck off!
I flinch a little under his yelling, but I square my shoulders and walk up to him, standing my ground. Now I'm only 3 feet away. Or what, you gonna hit me? Really? Go on, try it. I look at him in the eye, and immediately I know I have nothing to worry about. This is Flynn, after all, one of my best friends. Whether or not he'd ever admit to it, our little group is family, no matter how many stupid fights we get into. He's trying to scare me, though, with the way he's leaning over me, glaring. I just smirk up at him, and pretty soon I see his facade crack. He slumps down, letting out one massive sigh, deflating like a life-size lizard balloon.
Fucking otters, what do you want?
I want you to stop being a dick. Flynn looks over at me and glares, some of the posturing coming back.
What?
Oh Christ, you heard me.
That is not a good thing to say to me right now.
Flynn starts leaning over me again, and I lean right back, almost bumping muzzles. Yeah, well, everything you said back there was not a good thing to say. I see the corner of one of his eyes twitch. We're so close, I can smell the beer on his breath. I see that smirk tug at his muzzle again.
Coming in for a kiss?
He presses ever closer, and I feel my muzzle flush, but I'm not backing down.
I see how it is. You're bored with Leo, and now you want some lizard action, eh?
No, I just want an explanation. He raises a brow and leans back a little. Of why you're being such a dick when we're all supposed to be having some fun.
Actually, I think I know exactly what this is. You're trying to prove me wrong. Well, being an obnoxious twit doesn't suddenly mean you got a personality. Anyway, they told me to speak my mind, so I did.
He turns away again and starts walking. I quickly catch up and start walking alongside him. That's not an answer. Besides, even if something's true, it doesn't mean you have to point it out in the middle of everyone's vacation. Flynn keeps walking, opting to glare at the dusty trail. Do you really think I'm just going to bone all of you? I'm not. Flynn laughs, and for once it's not cynical, it's genuine.
I think what you're doing right now isn't helping your case, Chase.
What? I'm just trying to figure out what the hell's wrong with you, Flynn. My phone buzzes. It's a text from me, Leo.
Are you okay?
I type out a quick reply that everything's fine and I'm trying to talk to Flynn. Flynn snorts right in my ear, making me jump. I jerk my phone away as soon as I realize he's reading over my shoulder.
What, Wolfie Boy thinks I'm gonna clock you for being annoying?
You almost hit TJ.
Almost.
At this point, we're walking along Lake EMA Road, the trail winding between it and the reservoir itself. There's a little guardrail on the lakeside, but it's rusty, and I seriously doubt that would stop any car from going over into the lake. Another 10 minutes and we'll reach the motel. My phone buzzes again as I get a response from Leo.
If he does anything, call me.
Flynn sighs again. He stops. I turn to face him. He looks sad for once, staring hard at the ground.
I just sort of backed out there for a second. I was angry.
That's what murderers say after they kill their exes.
Jesus, Chase. Well, okay, I fucked up.
Yeah, no shit.
It's just something that's been fucking with me ever since it happened. That, and he's not telling the truth.
Flynn looks up at me sharply.
You know he isn't.
Flynn's staring at me hard as if he's looking for something, and this time I do look away. Well, what if he is?
No, you saw him right after it happened. How scared he was. How he couldn't look at any of us.
I have no idea what to say. Flynn never talks about this. Before today, the last time I'd heard him mention Sydney was like 6 years ago.
It really fucked me up. And that we thought we could just come back to this stupid fucking lake.
He kicks his foot across the ground towards the reservoir. Some pebbles falling over the steep drop and plopping into the water. It fucked us all up, but Flynn most of all. Look, Flynn, maybe something did happen, something he doesn't want to tell us. But it's TJ. You know what kind of person he is.
And that's what makes this so fucking shitty.
But we were kids. He was like 10 years old. We're different people now. Looking behind Flynn, I see Leo's van coming up the road. Flynn waits for me to go on, but sees me looking back and does so himself. As soon as he sees the van, he folds his arms and turns his head back to look across the lake. As it pulls up alongside us, the window rolls down, and I see Jenna in the passenger seat, Leo next to her.
Hey, we're heading back. Wanna get in?
Flynn doesn't say anything, instead choosing to continue staring at the lake. I decide that's probably a good idea for me to walk with him instead of making him do it alone. Nah, that's alright, we're just talking. Leo shifts his gaze to Flynn, studying him before turning back to me.
Alright, text me later though, okay?
Okay. The window rolls back up as the van pulls away, kicking up some dust from the roadside as it does. I turn back to Flynn, who's still looking at the lake, chewing slowly on his toothpick. That's when his stomach growls so loudly it almost makes me jump. Snorting Flynn fixes me with a glare.
What? I didn't get to eat.
Neither did I. Which is your fault. Flint grunts and keeps walking up the road toward Echo, the town's windows and rusted signs glinting in the desert haze. I skip up alongside him. Hey, why don't we go to the diner? It's just a few minutes away. Flynn grimaces.
I can't eat that shit anymore.
What? When's the last time you ate there?
A few years ago.
Wow. What do you eat then? Flynn laughs.
I go to Peyton where they actually have a grocery store.
Oh, okay. A few moments of silence pass before Flynn speaks up again.
I guess it wouldn't hurt to eat there again for old time's sake.
As we walk into the diner, my senses are assaulted by nostalgia. Everything looks and smells the same, from the faded patch stools to the smell of burgers and fries. Out of habit, I start working towards the corner booth, the one we used to always sit at.
Where are you going?
Huh? I look back at Flynn, who's standing near the counter, looking ready to sit down on one of the stools. Oh, come on, Flynn. Those are uncomfortable. Besides, it'll be easier to talk. Some of the patrons are starting to look up at our meals. Flynn looks around, clearly embarrassed, and shoves his hands into his pockets before making his way over to me.
Fine.
I slide into the booth, in my usual spot on the right-hand side. Usually Leo would sit next to me. Flynn sits opposite of me, leaning back, eyes half open. Tired?
Yep.
I wait for him to elaborate, but he doesn't go on. Up late? Flynn reaches up and rubs his eyes.
Yeah.
The long breath he takes in before he says that tells me he's staring to get annoyed, so I drop it. Luckily, that's when Janice, the old diner waitress, comes over to our table.
Chase? My goodness, Chase, what are you doing here?
Hi, Janice. Just doing a school project.
Oh, really? I wonder what sort of schooling might be here for you.
I'm actually just here doing some film of the town. Flynn's covering both his eyes with his hands now, as if that's going to make him invisible.
And you, Flynn? Can't say I've seen you at all recently.
Flynn makes a low, grunting sound, not taking his hands away. Janice keeps talking, though, unfazed.
Well, anything you'd like to drink while you're deciding on your meal?
Water.
Chase?
You know what? I can go for some Coke. Nah, put me down for a root beer. Root beer, please.
Sure thing.
Flynn does move his hands at the point and looks at me. His expression is odd, like he wants to say something. I look back and raise my eyebrows, but he just shuts his muzzle and looks out the window.
Alright, I'll be right back with you.
As Janice moves on to some of the other patrons, I look back at Flynn. Were you gonna say something? Flynn shakes his head, folding his arms on the table and hunching forward.
No.
Somehow his mood is even darker than it was earlier. I sigh, frustrated. It's so damn hard to understand Flynn. His mood swings are absolutely ridiculous. I lean back and fold my arms, scowling. What? You know exactly what. I'm trying to be friendly here. Flynn shrugs, a bewildered expression on his face.
I don't know what to say, Chase. It's been a shitty day.
I don't say anything and just look out the window like Flynn. Again, there's a tense silence between us. I just listen to the clatter of silverware from the two other people in the diner, along with the old rockabilly music playing over the crackly speakers. Finally, Flynn sighs. I decide that it's a signature expression, like Carl's shrug.
Sorry, I'm just... Like I said, it's been a shitty day.
It's fine. That's when Janice brings her drinks over before taking a notepad out to take her orders.
All right, what'll you have?
The tuna melt, onion rings.
Uh-huh. And you, Chase?
How about a bacon cheeseburger? The bacon cheeseburger sounds really good.
Alrighty. And what'll you have on the side?
Onion rings, please. Flynn is staring at me in a weird, squinting sort of way, as if he's trying to see something.
Great, I'll have it right over. Sit tight.
As Janice bustles away, I look to the side, then back at Flynn.
What?
Flynn keeps squinting, his face incredulous now.
Do you really not?
He doesn't finish and instead shakes his head.
Never mind.
Seriously, you're kind of freaking me out here, man. Flynn chuckles and covers his eyes again, rubbing.
Same.
What the hell is he talking about? I'm opening my mouth again to ask, but he cuts me off.
Listen, I've got the day off tomorrow. Do you want to do something?
I stare at him, at a loss for words. First he's acting like a complete douche. Then he tells me I'm scaring him. Now he's inviting me to hang out with him? This guy's clearly bipolar. Is he, what do you call it, bipolar? I guess.
Alright, I'll do something afternoon, maybe with Carl. He doesn't do shit, so he should be free.
Okay, I guess I could use a break from working on the project for a bit. Flynn goes on to tell me that he and Leo often go out to fish on their days off, and that it's actually a lot of fun. I'm still trying to get used to the shift in conversation when Janice shows up with her food. Flynn stares down at a giant, greasy sandwich, while I take a bite out of mine.
Fuck, I'm gonna regret this.
Why? Tastes great!
Well, you're lucky. This kind of food fucks up my stomach.
Do you make your own food?
Yep.
I snort and Flynn looks up sharply. Sorry, it's just kind of hard for me to imagine.
Hey, I'm a really good cook.
I guess the expression on my face is showing I don't buy it because he smirks back at me.
Fine. Sometime this week, you're coming over. I'll show you then.
I shrug, even though I feel like I've won some kind of secret battle we were having. Deal. Deal! Flynn pulls me over rocks and boulders. I stumble along, trying to keep my balance. Flynn's insistent, though, almost angry. We reach the edge of the lake and he throws me down. I stare at the wet sand, then back up at Flynn. He points and tells me to dig. I start digging. I don't know what I'm looking for, and I ask, but Flynn doesn't say anything. Water keeps filling the hole, and it's hard to keep the sand from sliding back in. Finally, I reach in deep and someone grabs my paw. I stay like that for a long time. Tuesday. Wait a minute. Oh, I have been more or less keeping track of everything.
How's this look?
Alright, I think that's a pretty good way to end the video. Let's see. Quit. Yes, sir. Oh. Well, I'm going to be honest. I was kind of hoping that it would enable me to actually go to the menu screen. But hey, Echo. So yeah, that's pretty much the structure that I'm going to be recording from now on. Basically, anytime it's like a full day or the day's events, I'm going to end it there. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Echo. I'll definitely pick it up next time. So till next time, guys, take care and peace.